fans, I'm Rick, and this is your seat at the table, and we're going to go down the rabbit hole for just a minute because, I don't know if you've never tried to do any kind of podcast or any kind of video channel for YouTube, you find yourself going down and doing all kinds of stuff you don't expect to do, or you learn new processes and new things. And part of the fun and the adventure is, of course, stumbling and bumbling your way through doing presentations and recordings. As you know, if you've been any length of time on my channel, I have both pronunciation issues and elocution issues. Sometimes I have brain farts. Other times we get interrupted by things that are outside of our control. Sometimes there's technical difficulties. All that stuff is all part of the joy. And unlike some folks, I have to manage my time quite harsh, and that means I don't have an abundance. I can't just sit down in the evenings and lock myself away in a room and twiddle with things and tweak things and do things to make much more better videos than what get produced. And I try. I do try, and that's something that doesn't always seem to come through, because I can take multiple takes of something and then it's just none of them is going to be any good in somebody's opinion, and usually my own. And of course, anyway, so I've got a couple of these takes that I want to share with you, and a couple other things you might find interesting if you stick through it, including the beginning of a set of recordings I did for Sven. Sven's channel. If you have not seen his awesome work for BattleTech history, he's honored me greatly by asking me to do some voiceovers for his project. I have actually participated in episode 2 of his project for sure. You can go to episode 2 and you'll find my voice recordings in there for at least one of his things. I think I did a second one. I can't remember if it was in the third one, but don't quote me on that for sure. But he did ask me a couple weeks ago if I could do some more for upcoming episodes, and I was more than grateful to be asked once again and honored to do them. Of course, I won't play the entire clip until after he's posted those videos, because there's some private. I don't want to try to upstage any of his thunder or to make anybody laugh at it, but just thought I would. So here we are, take one. Good Lord. Well, I better let Frankie in or she won't stop. Yes. Oh. Well, come on.
Well, get in there if you're going to get in there. So knock your shit off.
I guess you don't want in here then. You want it at that door pretty bad.
Hey.
What?
He's still at that fucking he's still trying to think it's on your damn fucking shelf thing.
Yeah.
But I took that metal thing that's in the laundry basket and tried to stick it back there.
Yeah.
I couldn't get him on either side.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the fuck he's at back in there.
Back up under the cabinet, under the drawer, washing machine, the dishwasher. He'll figure it out. Hey, so basically what we had was one of the cats, Fluffer. He's a really big, not quite Maine Coon size, but he's up there, and he's big, long-haired, and kind of a doofus. He's one of the 2 cats that actually belong to the lady next to us, but they live in our house now, so I guess they're our cats. Anyway, he's been really intent on something that was been up either under the bookcases that hold my game material out in the living room, or under the dishwasher in the kitchen. And lo and behold, apparently he found a mouse. And of course, you know how that went over. That made everybody excited, and the mouse keeps ducking back under stuff so that nobody's gotten around to getting to the mouse yet. So that's always a fun kind of thing to mess up with your day. So hey, here's take number 2 for trying to do the same video for the Clan Invasion TRO. Going on, my friends? I am Rick, and this is your seat at the table. And this is actually take 2 of this video, because Frankie was just tearing up the door trying to get in here. And now I think she's out there crying at the door, because when I went to get up and open the door, she didn't want in. So, and there she is scratching at the door again. Damn it. Come on, get in. Come on. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, you too. Yes. Sound. You stay out from behind the chair. I don't want to run over your paws. Yes, you're gonna. All right. Are you better? Are you happy now? Huh? Yeah, right there. What? What? You went out there trying to chase the mouse with everybody else and Mama? Huh? No. You just want some attention. Yes, I know. I know. Yes, I do. Right there. Yes, I love you. Yes, I do. What? Yeah. What? All right. Be a big purring machine. Get over there and settle down. Maybe I will just get this stuff done at some point, right? It has been one of them effing weekends. I tell you, it has just been one of them damn weekends. I got shanghaied into helping my sister move yesterday, and she had this illusion that she was going to move everything from her girlfriend's house to their new house, and then go to a completely different town to get her personal stuff and move all that stuff all in an 8 hour window. And then we had some dodgy weather yesterday, and the road conditions got worse as the day went by. And it took us an hour and a half to get to the U-Haul that she rented, because she rented it at a place that wasn't open on Saturday. You were just supposed to get the code and then get the key, and then the damn thing was stuck in the grass out front, and I had to go hunt down some people to help us push it out. That just began a long day. So we got her girlfriend stuff moved into the new house, and now my sister's got to go move her other stuff today. And I told her, I says, I'm not giving you my entire weekend. And then we have one of the stray cats hasn't shown up, is up in our garage, has not come down for a day and a half, and I always get worried about that sort of stuff. And it's sub-zero temperatures out here overnight, even in the garage. It gets pretty cold, and so I had to and climb up into the loft above the house, which is very difficult for me to do, and I'm absolutely terrified of heights, so that doesn't help. And I could see her back in there, and she looked all curled up, and she wasn't moving, which made me worried. So I went back in there further, and then she got up. She's an older cat, and she got some disabilities, and I don't know. She's moving sluggish. She hasn't eaten since the day before that I know of. I mean, there's no way for me to know that she hasn't come down some point during the last 24 hours and got some dry food and water, because we keep all that in the garage for them. But so, of course, as soon as I went to touch her, she got up and moved away, but she's moved further back into the attic where I can't really get to her without a whole lot of problems. And if she's gonna move again, then there's no point in me trying to try. And so all I can do is hope she comes out of whatever it is. I think the severe cold really takes it out of these older cats. So I told the wife, if she does come down and to get fed, and she can pick her up, go ahead and bring her in the house and put her here in the art room until the weather warms up, because so it's all we can do. You know, I would rather not be up to have to go up there and recover a body. So, and it just leads to one more thing after another thing after another thing. So that's take two for this video. All right, so on the personal note, this is one of those things, and this is one of my biggest foibles when it comes to creating content for channels. On my own particular channel, it's obvious. If you listen to my stuff long enough, you'll know the pattern, you'll recognize it. It's hard for me to divorce my personal life from this, and in some ways, this is my way of venting or sharing internal concerns, because I don't really have a whole lot of family left, and none that I have any communications with outside my sister. And the only time I ever see her is when she needs something, and there's no having conversations with her about stuff that doesn't pertain to whatever it is she's interested in doing. And the same thing goes. I don't have a lot of friends anymore. I've got As you get older, things become a little more harder to be social, and with my very radical hour job and other concerns, it just becomes even less of a opportunity to do that. So in some ways, this is my only window for venting, except unloading on unsuspecting and undeserving strangers that I occasionally run into and make the mistake of going, "How you doing? How's your day?" And then it's just, I'm one of those guys, man. I'm sure we've all run into them. So anyway, it's always rough. The hard part was about 6 weeks ago, we had a real blizzard come through. It lasted about 3 days. The winds were just howling up to 50 mile an hour, and the temperatures dropped into the double-digit negatives. And those outdoor cats, the shelters we have, they're not designed for that. And so we were able to corral most of them in the garage. And in the garage, they're out of the wind. There's a lot of insulation in the loft above, and they have access to being able to get close to the heat vents that heat the house. And then, of course, it's easier for the wife to look after. Well, since then, they were very reluctant to go out. We opened the door. I grant you, my wife does not open that door very long because she really doesn't want them out there. Uh, but they go out and then they come right back in. And so, anyway, we had one of the younger ones we called the kittens. There's a trio. There was a trio of them. And the last one we caught on that blizzard brought in was one we didn't have a name for, so I called him Lucky, which was stupid of me to do. And a couple, 3 weeks ago, we found him. Either his back was broke or his neck was broke. He was still alive, but he was in a terrible spot, and I suspect he fell off of the rafters. See, my ceiling's partially completed. I have a partially completed ceiling in the garage, so there's plenty of spaces for them to get up, and then they crawl, and they're cats. They climb over everything. And in our garage is a garage. It's full of tools and sharp implements and equipment and heavy stuff and things that are not designed to be impacted well if you drop 3 or 4 feet or 5 feet or even 10, 8 feet and land on them. So it's another one more thing that worries the hell out of me, and I can't win certain arguments, and I don't pursue them as to the conclusion that they ought to be go because of issues. Anyway, so we'll get to this last part, and if you stuck through this long, God bless you, you're something else. Really, really say the truth. This one is where Sven has a awesome channel, and he really has his ducks in a row and really has some technical expertise and then eloquence and all this stuff that makes for a good YouTube channel for material. And if you have never seen his material, you are terribly missing out. He really has a good grasp on the lore, especially the history of things, and he's making this multi-part long history of the Amherst Civil War. And he decided to take a little bit of a diversion from his usual procedures, and has included a number of well-known and little-known BattleTech YouTube provider aficionados or whatever to do voiceovers for or voice to voice portions of the segments that he's doing, and this includes having his in the openings first chapter has text from the Black Pants Legion, for example. He's got Red from Big Red's podcast. He has Mechanical Frog, and of course, it was at Battlebound and a whole other slew of people. And then he's got me. I mean, I've talked to Sven off and on a few times over the past couple of years. We've given each other some material and stuff that the other person didn't have, or told information on how to go find it, that kind of stuff. And we do share a passion for the BattleTech history. So the fact that he has asked me on more than once to do some voiceovers or voice, whatever you want to call them, for his contributions for his vast project, it's a very big honor for me, and quite humbling. And I was just pickled pink to be in the first, or like I said, I think it's chapter 2. I want to say there's another. It was chapter 2 and chapter 3, but chapter 2 for sure. And anyway, I've got some more that he's asked me to do for a couple of the upcoming chapters. And of course, as you know, my eloquence is not all that great, and I can only do so many takes before I get frustrated, and it just gets worse. So I did the best I could, and he asked me to just pick 2 or 3 and just read them, and I just decided that, you know what, I'm going to read them all. I'll read them and pause, and then he can pick and choose what works for him. And if he finds one useful one out of all of them, I'll be damn grateful to get into another one of his projects that he's got going on. So once again, I'm not going to play through the entire recording in this video because I want to wait till after he's posted the channels, the chapters that he's currently working on. That way I'm not putting any kind of spoilers out there or any kind of whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so here's the opening bit on that. Asked to participate in this project of yours. It's definitely been a bit of a boon for my channel. It's drawn in some more attention to it, and anything that helps support the BattleTech community and this particular genre that we're all a big fan of is an awesome thing. And so let's see, we will start with chapter 7. All too often it's mistakenly said that it was Amaranth. All right, like I said, that's about as far as I'm going to go. And there's about 11 entries in here, and I read through most of them. There was one there's a couple place names that I just absolutely could not pronounce, no matter how many type. And I took a couple stabs at it. So this is kind of the whole point of doing this video too. It just wants to show that I do attempt to make some effort to do a better job. And there are times when I have to stop and pause and come back and do it again because they're just horrible. And that's all part of the joys of doing stuff for the channel. Anyway, this is Rick, and I hope you guys, take pity on this poor soul. Also, want to say I'm very, very grateful. We actually broke 600 last week in subscriptions. We were 604 or something like that. I mean, averaging 1 or 2 new ones a week, couple of weeks. It goes up and down a little bit. I don't pretend to understand. I know that the YouTube analytics has got something to do with their system for showcasing people's stuff and how it gets out there is kind of dodgy from what I understand. Things are changing or they're tweaking stuff for reasons I don't know, and frankly I don't care. I mean, I would dearly love to see my channel grow, don't get me wrong. There is actually a ceiling. There's a certain point where we breach into something that opens up some options for me that I miss having from the early days of YouTube, specifically remote recording, so I can actually do live recordings and things from work where I'm out in the field and I got 2 hours to kill between customers or something. That would be nice, but as from a monetary standpoint, this channel is never going to generate that kind of revenue unless something hugely, massively takes off, right? And I don't see that happening, to be honest. That would have to be a real thing. So hey, anyway, if you hung in this long, you're a better person than most people are, because your attention span is quite strong. Till next time.